here in America now. We are celebrating Thanksgiving. In the beginning of these conversations, we started by talks a little bit about it, and talks a little bit about the education here, because you're an educator here in America, and what exactly the area you're in education here in America.
Okay. In the beginning, I talked about finishing my bachelor's degree, and then I went to University of Wisconsin to study, where I studied agriculture economics, and I also studied adult education. And then after that, I decided to study to do a doctorate in adult curriculum and instruction. When I finished my doctorate, after I had 3 children, I felt I was highly educated, but I felt there was a lot that I did not know about children. I had all this education, but there are some things that I needed to know about children. So I went back and I did a master's degree in early childhood. And that is how I ended up working for years. I've worked over 20 years teaching children, preschoolers, kindergarten, training, seminars, and especially I've been involved in area of cultural empowerment. Yeah. So that's what I've done.
That's very interesting. Can you talk a little bit about the preschoolers, cultural integrations, because you're teaching here in America now. Can you share with us that area in terms of educating the age group between probably age of 5 and above?
Yeah. Okay. I think I really like that area, and especially, and I like the question you have asked. What most of us don't know, that those early years, from the time the child is born until they are like 5, 6, 7, is the most critical time for a child. Even when they are 3, they are 4, very, very critical. So that foundation, that's when the brain is growing, and they are like a sponge, and they get everything. And sometimes parents and adults, they talk, they can say anything while children are there and thinking that they are not getting anything. So that's why I have focused on that area, so that at least we can even educate parents that they need to pay attention to children when they are young, giving them foundation, even teaching things that like Thanksgiving thanks, that it's important to give thanks, that it is important when you're given something to appreciate all those things, the foundation of teaching character, foundation of teaching good behavior, foundation of empowering children to know who they are. Because there are so many adults who, after we are grown, we find we don't know even who we are. And sometimes those things start when we are young. Parents empowering their children and telling them they are worthy, and disciplining them in a manner that is positive. So I really value those early years and foundational years for children.
Your job is one of the most difficult jobs in educating earlier or young or children here in America. And can you share with us a little bit what are the skill set do you need to have to be in the classrooms and engage in empower, encourage, and educate earlier childhood or earlier children in your classroom settings?
Number 1, you need training. You need that foundation. And that's number 1. Number 2, you need love for children, because it's really not a job. Teachers are really, and it's sad that they are not appreciated, and teachers are going through so much because it's really not a job. It is a ministry. It's a mission. So you need training. You need to love. You need to love children, and you also need to have a foundation where you are there to encourage and to empower these children. So it is very, very important to be trained, important to love teaching, important also to love yourself, so that at least when you get discouraged, you know what to do. It's a great foundation.
Today, I was driving somewhere around here in Colombia, and passed by a church, and there was this quote. Most of the church here in America, they will write a message on the board for the people. They just pass by, they can read and go home and go and rethink about it and digest about it. This quote was saying to teach is to touch a life forever. And it came in my mind about you. What do you think about that phrase, to teach is to touch a life forever?
I believe that. My name is Nduta. That's my middle name, the name given by my mother when I was born. It means teach me. Teach me. So you're right, when you teach, you touch life forever. And believe me or not, you, Dr. Monangu, you had to be taught to do what you're doing, to interview me. So a teacher is very, very important. Everybody who has a career here on earth came through a teacher. So teachers touch life forever, and teachers are taught. So you're taught, and then you teach, you touch life forever. So somebody touches your life. See, it's a synergy. Somebody touches me, somebody teaches me, and I teach another. And that's how we are supposed to be. And when we are giving children foundation, we are giving them so one day they are going to touch life. So you're right, to teach is to touch life forever. I believe I am the change that I want others to be. So when I'm teaching, I want to demonstrate that I am the change. And through demonstration, others can pick on that. And especially children, because children learn through modeling. They learn through our behavior. They learn through watching us. They learn watching what we do. Sometimes we think it's what we tell them. No, it's not what you tell them. It's what you do. And that's why teaching by doing is critical. Teaching through modeling is important. Teaching by hands-on. Parents, it's important even for parents during this time of Thanksgiving. Cook with your child. Let them help you in the kitchen, because they are also learning as they are doing, as they are participating with you, instead of just looking, sitting, and us telling them what they do. We can do better when we model behavior and let children also act on what we are doing, and let it be positive.
We can do better by model our behavior. If it's, correct me if I'm wrong, if
Yes.
I repeated that phrase from you. So what is the message now are you sending to teachers, mothers, fathers, uncles, and sisters in the continent of Africa? Because all of us, diasporas, we migrated from Africa, and then we're here in America. And tomorrow we're celebrating Thanksgiving. What is your message to our people back home in Africa?
The message to our people back home in Africa, because they are sometimes we think, if I can become like the people in the West, then I have something to give thanks. Is to tell them that we are blessed. The continent of Africa is gifted, and our children are gifted. So I can tell them we start from there. That I don't have to look at somebody else to empower me. I am already empowered by being born in the continent of Africa. It's interesting, people may say, why then do you live in America? I go to Kenya every year, but it's because there are opportunities, and if you get opportunities to travel in other parts of the world, hey, good and enough, you go. And also we are having a lot of people come to Kenya, to other parts of Africa. So that's the beginning, that we need to love ourselves and find within ourselves things to give thanks. We are talented, we are creative. So that's where I would begin, by loving who we are, by appreciating each other, and by appreciating what we have, because there is so much that we have, even back in Kenya, in Africa, that we can model to the West. We can model our cultural, our culture. We have a lot in our culture that the West look up to. It's no longer third world. It's no longer first world, that we are the third world. No, that is no longer that. Apparently, there are so many people. People are flowing back to Africa. They want to see the wildlife. There's so much going on. It seems everything is going the other way around. So that's what I would say, that during this time of Thanksgiving, even our people back home, we have a lot to give thanks, and we need to appreciate what we have. We need to appreciate each other, and we need to recognize that we are enough.
Dr. Penina, for the past 2 years now in America, we've been going through a lot of hurdles and challenges that and you know, it's the COVID-19. That's why I wanted to talk about that. And during this year, 2022, we are celebrating Thanksgiving without that fear that we had for the past 2 years. So what is your message now? Take us home with respect to the pandemic, that we had for the past 2 years, and now we see people are flocking in grocery stores. People are traveling. People are not wearing masks as what we used to. So what is your message now for the people here in America and elsewhere with respect to the what we went through, and here we are again. We are back to normal. Dr. Penina.
Well, I'm one of those people that believe that yes, it is true. It is pre-pandemic, and we thank God for where He has taken us. And I'm so sorry, because many of us lost our friends, we lost our families, and but I still believe that we need to be careful. I still believe, because as a teacher, I have found we are still seeing people are getting sick, children are getting sick. So I think we should not take it for granted. It is over yet, but I think we need to be careful. We need to use behaviors where we protect ourselves and we protect others. We need to think of others, and we need to protect ourselves, and recognize, although we are thankful, although we think things have changed, that we still need to be careful, and we need to be protective and take care of ourselves. Yeah.
What is your last word with respect to all these what we have covered from the beginning of this conversation up to here now? What is your last word?
My last word is life is a gift. We need to treasure it. We need to honor it. We need to be kind to each other. We need to help one another, and we are educated so that we can support somebody else. So for me, it's about empowering somebody else. It's about being compassion, being showing empathy, and recognize that we are here together, and I help you and you help me. And sometimes it's important not to think that what is mine we need to share, and we need to care for each other, because life is fragile, life is short, and therefore we need to take care of each other and empower and encourage one another.
Dr. Penina, thanks very much for taking your time speaking with the Swahili Villa Online TV and an American Swahili News. So thank you again, and you're welcome to come back and talk to us when you return from your trip. I'm not going to disclose that. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Mwanangu, for interviewing me. I appreciate it.
You're welcome. Thank you.